Actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Hey, everybody. It is Wednesday, January the 6th, 2016. I'm Emerson Collins.
And I'm Del Shores.
And you're listening to The
Del and Emerson Show. Straight talk.
Okay. Oh my God, it's a new year. Same old show, same old nonsense. Hi, Del Shores.
Just it seems like the introduction's getting a little bit longer.
I
Just a little bit
I wanted
as we
to
build.
feel new and fresh for a brand new year. We are 6 days in. How's your 2016 going?
It's really going well so far, and I know yours is going well.
I mean,
We're having a good 6 days.
We are. I'll be honest. It's a leap year, so we get an extra day. I already wasted mine.
Oh, you did? How did you waste it?
Like those first 2 days, I was like, I don't feel like doing anything.
I think it's because it kind of fell on a weekend. So you had 2 days. You had New Year's Eve on Thursday, then New Year's, and then it was Saturday. So I just laid on the couch and watched movie after movie.
And resolutions, diets, everything's don't start until the 4th of March. It's like, can we just delay?
Have you started your diet, Emerson?
I have.
I'm so glad.
I'm on my new diet.
Did you put on an ounce or two over the holidays?
I did.
I put on like 3 pounds.
Oh, you and that weight obsession.
I'm obsessed.
Did you make any resolutions?
I did not.
I did not either.
I made goals, though.
I decided that, like Mary Poppins, I am practically perfect in every way.
Oh, you are.
I'm not, but I just like who I am, so I'm fine with it. At this point in my life, if you don't like who I am, that is just fine. You are welcome to not listen, watch, follow, whatever.
I feel like that you should resolve things along the way, not just once a year, because there's a lot of pressure on that.
I agree wholeheartedly. I do. I feel like what happens is you make New Year's resolutions and then you don't, and people change everything all at once. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to do meditation. I'm going to do yoga for an hour and I'm going to do all of my chores.
Then I'm going to the gym.
I'm going to write for 2 hours and go to the gym and do all of that before I start my workday at 8 o'clock. And then you don't do it one day and you're like, well, try again 2017.
I'm going to start drinking daily and smoking a pack a day.
That's perfect. Yes. Maybe we should do that. Like, what would you call it? Resolution, de-evolution?
Just the
dissolutions?
The things that you resolved years ago, you're just going to bring back.
Yes, that's what it is. This year I'm bringing back terrible things.
Terrible habits.
That's fantastic. I am going to be...
I'm going to start masturbating.
I'm going to start meth.
Meth?
Yeah.
Again?
Go big or go home, Like meth. I lost me to meth. Because then my 2017 resolutions will be really easy. I just undo all the things I added this year.
But if you don't get on meth, please
I know, I can't
don't get
afford to
on
lose
meth.
any more weight.
No, we don't want any more.
My apartment would be so clean, though. Isn't that one of the things?
Oh, this is so off topic. Did you
What?
hear that Janet Jackson perhaps has throat cancer?
I did not hear such a thing. Did she get it from eating vagina like, what's his face, Michael Douglas got from Catherine Zeta-Jones?
Oh, is that? Oh, no. I don't.
Remember that when he had his mouth
think
cancer
so,
and
but
said it might
at
have
the
been
gym in my spinning class, there was the big discussion that I said, I cannot take another Jackson tragedy. I cannot.
Oh, no, Janet.
And they were saying, well, maybe it's nodules on her vocal cords. And I said, well, no, she doesn't sing.
Yeah. I mean, if it's going to happen...
she doesn't do that Adele thing that causes that.
Can't
right?
it be like Tito or one of those othering? One of those othering.
You're wishing throat cancer on Tito
I'm
Jackson.
Just saying, if it's going to happen to a Jackson, can it just not be Janet?
What kind of person are you?
No,
Emerson
I'm just saying,
Collins?
pick a lesser one.
You do need resolutions.
What's Latoya doing?
Well, she's not badly throat cancer. That's as far as I know.
I know.
I think that we better go back to the script. I'm sorry I brought this up.
Janet's carrying the torch. Well, clearly I told you about that psychic who told me that this year my humor needed to be less censored, so I'm starting off early.
Less censored.
Yeah, she said I needed to take my humor even further.
No one's ever told me that
Shocking.
that I needed to censor my humor.
Absolutely shocking. I can't imagine why.
You need to speak more, Del. You need to speak your mind.
Yes,
just
say
a
more.
little bit more.
Say more. Do more.
So New Year's Eve, what'd you do?
I just had a nice little dinner at La Boheme and watched Kathy and Anderson, which is my favorite. I realized watching that show that if Anderson Cooper and Kathy Griffin did a talk show together, he tried his, and I don't know what she's been doing lately, It'd be the best talk show on the face of the planet because she does everything in her power to embarrass him, make him look foolish, and he is getting better and better at coming back for her.
And he's okay with it.
Yes.
That's what I love about it. It genuinely feels like they have a solid friendship, and that she basically can do no wrong in all the wrong that she does.
She did a 10-minute riff on one, calling him transphobic for anything and everything he said, and two, talking about how she slept with Ryan Seacrest the night before.
That bit. I saw that.
But every time she made it about sex, he figured out how to make it about something else.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, Anderson.
Yeah.
He's coming back. He's got the clap
When
back.
she said he was sore, and he said,
was like, oh, he's upset with you?
Upset?
And he said, what was it, another one? She said, I banged the heck out of him. And Anderson said, why would you hit him?
Oh.
I was like, he's thinking.
Well, they were good. They're good.
How was yours?
Well, mine was good. I went out. I had dinner with my friend Adam, and then went to Revolver. I saw Jade Rodriguez in drag, which was great. We have a picture of Jay and myself, and it was just fun. And made out with a boy at midnight.
Yes.
But then I went home alone, Emerson. I went home alone.
Oh.
Do you feel bad for me?
I don't particularly. I feel like you do just fine.
But I got recognized by my Uber driver, which was that I paid $69 fucking to get home from West Hollywood. Were you a victim of that, John?
You are not a victim. You have to click accept.
I know.
Everybody on the
do.
internet whining about surge pricing all across the world. People paying $300 in Australia. But you have to push that button to accept that overtime fare.
Yes, you do. It was 8 times. I still think that, there was no way to get anything else, though.
Right.
Lyft was completely busy.
Right.
So, and they were doing like 2, their surge was 2. So it was either walk home to the Hollywood Hills or pay $69. But the Uber driver was lovely, and his name was Skylar, and he said, I want to ask you a question. Are you the Del Shores?
Did you say no, I'm the other?
And I thought, maybe I could get Skylar to come up to the. This new. But I didn't go there. I did not go there. I tried to remain. What's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
I was going to say professional, but that doesn't work.
You're like, well.
That's what happens. I don't know, Emerson. Lately, there are words that just don't come to me as easily as they once do, and I keep thinking that people can go, "Oh, this was remember
when it started.
It all started.
When it started.
Del Shores.
Oh, are you kidding? Like 20 years from now, whenever it happens, when you start getting dementia, it's gonna be the most fun I have had in my life.
Well, it's my family has.
We'll start doing this radio show daily.
Yeah, I'll be on Facebook Live.
Be like
just everybody just crazy.
It'll be the Emerson and Dementia Del show.
Yeah, there you go. Do you think? Oh, surely we're not going to be doing it that long.
Who knows? Could be.
All right.
All right. Well, I did have exciting news that we can finally announce.
Yay!
The People's Couch is returning for season 4 in a week and a half.
I'm so
Last
excited.
time we had to wait almost 10 months, and this time you had to wait barely a moment at all. We are moving to Friday nights, which is very exciting. So for those of you on a Friday night, you can stay at home and live tweet along with us, or if you're busy and out on the town, good for you. You set it on the DVR and watch it on Saturday morning.
Well, congratulations. And you
Thank
got more
you.
episodes, right?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing it for a while.
Oh, that's so exciting. We're very happy for you. I think along with the rest of the country, I think it's building because you get recognized a lot more, right?
Yeah, we do. While I was home in Dallas, we get it a lot of places. It's really exciting. People love the show. Smart, fun. And here's the thing, and I'm a snob, so it's fine. Our fans are like smart, intelligent, wonderful people. They're the kind of people that are like, excuse me, I just want to say that I love your show and go on. It's no like crazy people or anything.
Are you implying?
I am not directing.
Are you
that
implying
at
that some of my fans are crazy?
Crazy but loyal.
They are crazy,
and
I
we
love them.
them.
I love my crazy yet loyal fans.
But so that's super exciting. Friday, January the 15th at 10 p.m. All across the country, the People's Couch returning for season 4. So I'll be back on the sofa with Blake and Scott.
Yay.
Talking snarky nonsense. And we did want to shout out really quickly. Bravo is a brand new season of The Newlyweds, and 2 faces familiar to our show, Brandon Liberati and Craig Ramsey, who have been on the show, who are doing the workout video with Pandora Box. They are one of the 4 couples this season, and their premiere was Sunday night, and it showed the process of building up to and through their wedding, and it was so sweet. I might have even teared up a couple of times.
Did you? And my DVR didn't catch it. I'm so pissed off. I think I can get a repeat.
Yeah. But Bravo.
Because I did it. I said it. Unless I'm not real tech savvy. So,
and their second episode airs tonight at Wednesdays in the regular time slot. So y'all check that out. They are adorably handsome and wonderfully delightful men. And I found myself emotional. I had a feeling in 2016.
I got emotional
already.
when I saw them like waxing his asshole.
That's from a coming episode.
That looked a
Craig's
little
ass is apparently quite featured this season, and nobody's mad at that.
Okay.
All right. Well, it's 2016. Shall we get on into the news? Equality update. A figure that I certainly thought we would have left in 2015 has returned to the news today. Chief Justice Roy Moore of Alabama. Y'all remember him? He was the one dragging his feet about marriage equality. Well, he issued a new administrative order this morning saying that Alabama probate judges have a ministerial duty not to issue any marriage license contrary to the Alabama Sanctity of Marriage Amendment or the Alabama Marriage Protection Act because they remain in full force and effect. Essentially, he's saying the marriage ban doesn't apply to Alabama because only the 4 states that were involved in the court case that was at the Supreme Court have specific direction from that court. So he's just wasting.
So this old
time.
asshole blowhard just continues to say, "I know more than everybody else."
Like he doesn't understand the supremacy clause, and at least one county has said today that they were going on and continuing to issue licenses, but another one sort of closed because he continues to sow discord and confusion in a war that he has lost.
And he's had so much scandal in his own life. I mean, he's just what a fucker.
Bless his bigoted heart.
Yeah, all
That's
right.
all
Well, you'll
him.
sell more T-shirts.
I know. Somebody said today, I was like, oh, it might be time to relaunch that campaign in the new
with
year.
his face under it.
No, I'm not giving him any free press. Nobody wants to wear his face.
Oh, that's true. Nobody.
Oh. In other news, in paying attention to what's the equality of our LGBT brethren around the world, there's a story this week about Eric Simbasa, a 26-year-old gay man in Malawi, who came out in an interview on Friday in the news there and demanded the government of the country either kill LGBT people or grant them full and equal rights. Shortly afterwards, he was detained by police, and then he has gone into hiding. Now, in Malawi, homosexuality is technically illegal, though lawmakers suspended the section of Malawi's penal code that prohibits carnal knowledge against the order of nature. But his point is that he is tired of LGBT people being treated like second-class citizens. He said, I think the government should make a very final decision whether to purge us. I plead with government not to work according to the crowds. It should work according to how things are. The government signed that it will respect human rights, that it will respect us, but what is happening on the ground is not that. So it's a very brave action for a young man in Malawi to take on behalf of his community.
Can you imagine? I mean, we talk about our plight and how our struggle has been what it is, but can you imagine what other people, I mean, when you read these stories, and I know you've got another one coming up that's just horrifying, it's amazing what people are still going through just for being born gay.
Yes, and it's certainly we need to continue to fight on behalf of all of the various people in our community here, but it is certainly a reminder that as we may have ground yet to go, but we are so much further than many other places in the world. And the next story, there's been much news about ISIS executing gay people in Syria, in the areas under their rule. And this past week, they executed a 15-year-old boy accused of being gay. They threw him off a building with a large crowd watching. He was accused of being involved with an ISIS officer, and the officer was sent to Iraq. He was not executed, but the accusations of homosexuality are often fabricated as well. But it's a stark reminder of that there is actual legitimate danger to your actual life for so many people in so many places. And this is just a kid. This is something they've done. They've beheaded people. They've continue to make spectacles in actions like throwing people off of roofs. And so this is a really important aspect of how they have warped the Islamic faith in a way that is actually deadly to our people. So we send thoughts to them, and it's certainly something to continue considering. We focus a lot in our news on the conflict between religion and various aspects of Christianity because it is the majority faith in our country, but in places where the majority faith is Muslim, they experience a similar thing, and often to a significantly greater harmful degree. So probably a story we will continue.
Yeah, we don't have
Christianity
does not have the on bigotry. It's not just them.
No, there are many faiths in many ways that degrade our people. All right. Well, let us flash through some of the gay news from the last week, bouncing all over the place.
All right. Well, Colton Haynes not quite coming out. This has been a big story this week. Colton Haynes is an actor. He's best known for CW's Arrow and MTV's Teen Wolf, and he's a gorgeous young man. He did a photo shoot as a young model in 2006 for XY magazine where he kissed another male model, and there has been speculation about his sexuality ever since, but he never addressed it publicly. Over the weekend, a Tumblr user wrote, "When I found out Colton Haynes had a secret gay past, I got so excited." And Colton actually responded by saying, "Was it a secret? Let's all just enjoy life and have no regrets." So some are saying it's the first coming out of 2016, but he didn't officially say, "I'm coming out." But this feels like to me, he said, yeah.
It's a really interesting story because Colton is certainly on the list of people that get regularly accused of taking advantage of the glass closet and has for quite some time. In fact, that photo shoot, the one they referenced from the XY magazine, for a number of years, I remember reading on gay blogs that allegedly attorneys were tracking down where it was on the internet to sort of scrub it from the internet, to sort of attempt to scrub his gay appearing past. I don't know if that's actually true, but it brings up an interesting point now about the idea of what does it mean anymore to be out? Is because that to me doesn't say I'm gay.
Right.
That says those photos are true evidence of my history, but is that any different than saying like I have a gay past because I played a gay character in a play or whatever? You know, if he kissed a boy in a modeling shoot, it's certainly a very, very homoerotic shoot for a very, very gay focused magazine at the time. But to me, this doesn't count. I think we're probably growing to a place where in the future the idea that people don't have to come out because they were sort of always out is true. But if you've not ever stated it clearly in a public manner, I don't think that I've always been out thing really works.
Right.
That's sort of what Jussie Smollett did last year. You know, I've never been, well, that's fine. You may never have been closeted, but if it's not something you've addressed as a part of your public interview life, then that's sort of not super genuine to say. So it'd be interesting
if
to see.
you don't thank your husband on the Tony Awards, you know.
Right, and there are certainly lots of ways to do it. I think we will continue to see people not feel, there won't be magazine covers of I'm gay, that we will see people do it the way Matt Balmer did, where he thanked his husband, and people that it just sort of appears naturally in their public life as it goes along. And I wonder about
like me. I mean,
yes,
yeah,
just naturally
I've just kind of put it there in a sentence or two.
But I go back to it still matters. It still matters to the young people. He has an enormous and aggressively powerful fan base, across social media. He's enormously popular, and a definitive statement would, I think, speak a lot to young people that look up to him. And I wonder if some of this is the example of, because he's on Arrow on the CW with John Barrowman, who is definitively out and has been actively out. So I wonder.
I love his Facebook page, by the way.
Oh,
he's always like on a plane. He's very interactive with his fans. He'll do a video and say, "Hey, I'm on the plane." Like,
nice. But I wonder if there's some influence there, if what we're leading to is Colton actually saying that he is a part of our community. Or maybe, he isn't, but he's definitely on the list of
time will tell.
Closet. And I hope it leads to, if it is true, and if that is the case, that it leads to a stronger and more specific statement, because it still matters.
Well, I hope that people that actually look like him, who are leading men, leading women, can look to someone like Matt Balmer and say, hey, I can have a career, not only a career, but a great career. Neil Patrick Harris. We are seeing this over and over and over again.
I don't know that we're seeing it over and over.
Well, we're seeing it a lot more than we did.
How many? Well, yes, but how many leading men, openly gay leading men, can you name?
Well, give me till next week, and I'll bring a list in.
But that's my point. I think people that look like him, that look like Matt, like that is still very, very. We have a lot.
Cheyenne Jackson
in the older men. Yes, so 3.
All right. I'm just going through the American Horror Story.
I know, that is a great place to start. But even Cheyenne, American Horror Story is sort of his biggest TV thing.
Well, that
since
is true.
30 Rock. So yes,
he's had a great career on Broadway.
We're finally seeing the advancement of the leading man.
Zachary Quinto.
Where it truly doesn't matter. But the more there are, the more proof it is that the audience can and will be accepting.
Sir Ian McKellen.
Nope, that does not count. Sorry about it. All right, flashing on.
All right.
Exciting thing happened this weekend. Salt Lake City swore in their first lesbian mayor, Jackie Biskupski. was sworn in what she called a very historic moment for equality. She's the first LGBT person and only the second woman to be mayor of the largest city in Utah. With her fiancé by her side, she said, "As your new mayor, I commit to building an inclusive and welcoming city worthy of the unique history and legacy of this place we call home." And it's nice to have that happen as Anise Parker, the wonderful lesbian mayor that we love in Houston, is stepping down. So to see the lesbians still represented.
Well, one of our fans, and I think he's in on my page right now, is the mayor of like Belle Meade, right outside of Waco.
Yeah.
So Jerry, yes.
I love that.
So anyway, shout out to him. So yes, this is very cool, and I loved the pictures that came out with her.
Yes.
Okay, we have this. I like this story.
Oh, I'm so excited.
This is not a good story. It's a new scandalous hookup app because we don't have enough. We need more hookup apps. There are not enough. It's called Hanky, and it has rules to join. It's like a fraternity. 3 existing users cast votes on whether to allow them to join. The developer says the divisive practice is intended to keep out creeps, time wasters, and fake profiles present on other apps. And co-founder Jonas Kronfeld said that the app rejects 8. He's very proud of this. 8 out of 10 applicants, not 1 out of 5. Yeah,
Right.
There's 8 out of 10, but aims to get more sexy users. They said we will probably have 5 million members. We will never have 5 million members like some of these other apps because so many get turned away from Hanky. But we'll choose quality over quantity any day. Our users are nicer and more sexy. It also is possible to register by invitation from a current member, but this requires phone verification. Wow.
This represents everything that gay guys complain about other gay guys doing. Like all of the stereotypes all wrapped up in one app. It's literally, first of all,
I have a hard enough time on any of the apps. So, being 58.
Also,
anxious.
because can you imagine? First of all, imagine that you were already inside, and so you're one of the 3 people chosen to pick somebody. What's the rule? Like, oh, somebody else might be attracted to you, so I'll let you join. Because people are just going to be denying people based on I'm not attracted to you.
I know, but I like the way he added that it's not just they're nicer. How do you know that they're nicer? How? More sexy, sure. I could see that, but I feel like we should infiltrate.
I know. I don't want to get rejected.
No, we could. We should figure out a way to get accepted, and then the 3 of us right here, we just start accepting every single person, and we just.
I know. I want to be on the approval committee,
but it's a lot of work too. I don't want to go on an app and work that hard.
I know,
it's enough of an effort already.
Yes, if you're already on the map to meet other people, I don't want to spend my time trying to decide whether other people get to join it or not.
It's like a part-time job. Besides the fact you're hooking up, you also have this part-time job of accepting other people.
Be like, why don't you pay people to do that job?
And then is it publicized? Hey, how did you? I cannot believe you rejected Emerson Collins. He's on the people's couch.
Well, also, the person that gets rejected should get all the contact information of the people that rejected them.
Absolutely.
Because as if literally every one of these apps, you can already block people. You can already do all of these things.
Absolutely. Hey, Jonas Kronfeld, you're a douchebag. That's all I'm saying.
It's literally
a fucking douchebag.
It's just a velvet rope for an app.
Yeah. Jonas, did you hear me? You're a fucking douchebag.
They're like, we're going to have the prettiest people. It's like people going to be walking around saying, oh, well, I'm on Hanky. Are you?
Would you put that? Can we put that on the screen
Hanky
where it says,
panky.
Jonas Kronfeld, you are a douchebag, a fucking douchebag. Y'all spread that word everywhere. Tweet it right now. Everybody tweet Jonas Kronfeld douchebag.
I feel like
hashtag.
I feel like they should have just called it no fats, no femmes, and just been clear about what they were doing. Like those terrible people that put that stuff in their profile. Like, sorry, white people only, just a preference. Fit, you must be too. No fats, no femmes, no oldies.
I'm not a racist. Just white people, please.
Right. They should have just this isn't in our story, but there's a new website because it's not specifically gay, but we're going to talk about it now anyway, called wherewhitepeoplemeet.com.
Oh.
They said it's a little bit satire, but a little bit true. It's like, because, there's like J-Date for Jewish people, and they're like, it's a dating app for white people to meet other white people, which I thought was just
where
like
laundromats,
every
cemeteries?
bar,
I mean,
street corner, 7-Eleven.
I see white people everywhere.
Where white people meet.
Maybe
like,
not at a black congregation. That's where you don't meet white people.
I feel like it's like those people who, when it's Black History Month, they're like, why isn't a White History Month? Why is there black entertainment television but not a white entertainment television? All the other television.
Well, what about women in film? We don't have men in film.
Nope, except in all of the films.
Exactly.
Right.
I'm going to start that. White men in film.
Yes.
Bring it on.
Bless their hearts. Well, all I say is if you join Hanky, good luck.
All right. Speaking of black people.
Yes. Flashing on. Dr. Ben Carson, I love this story. On Monday in New York City, Dr. Ben Carson was confronted by an individual who asked him a simple question. Do you think I chose to be gay? After a town hall. Carson responded by saying, that's a long conversation. The individual replied, I think you're full of shit. It was succinct and short and to the point, and I thought it was wonderful.
Wow.
It was hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was hilarious too.
I was like, it's not a long conversation. Yes or no, sir?
I want to correct something really quick.
Oh, go ahead.
Jerry Pierce is the mayor. He is in the room here on Facebook, and it's Valley Mills right by Baylor.
Well, thank goodness.
Yeah, there we go.
All right,
mayor.
flashing on.
All right. Oh, the demon child has come out of the closet. I don't know if you remember this story, but I do vaguely remember the Danny Oakley. He gained the title of demon child and infamy in Britain with his brother Ricky. They were just awful, awful children. 40 arrests, a criminal record by the age of 12. They also became Britain's youngest recipients of antisocial behavior orders. They abused their neighbors, set fires, broke property, suffered serious burns after a can of foam they threw into a bonfire exploded. Now Danny is 21 years old, and he's trying very hard to right the wrongs. And that included opening up publicly about his very difficult childhood and internalized homophobia. He said, I knew I was gay, but didn't want to be. By the age of 10, I regularly smoked cannabis to blank out the sadness. It was a coping mechanism. The new me is sober, clean, and on the right side of the law. I had a lot going on at home, and I took it out on the streets. Being gay wasn't something I could share with my brother Ricky, who is currently behind bars, so I kept it to myself. Dad would have hated me if he knew, so at 14, I tried to kill myself because the secret was torture. When you're a thug on a council estate, being gay isn't an option. I was living a lie. At 16, his uncle caught him with another boy, made him tell his dad, who said he was ashamed, called him a poof and a queer, and that he was no longer his son. He says now, my new mates don't judge me for being gay. To them, it's just part of who I am. I disappointed my dad, but I made new friends, and my new friends are proud. I still struggle to fully accept I'm gay because in my mind, I hear Dad's voice telling me I'm a worthless faggot, that society hates me. I'm slowly realizing that if I accept who I am, then I can be who I want to be. So quite a statement. I mean, I love that. I mean, horrible, sad past, and how awful at 12 years old to be such a notorious criminal.
Yeah.
But then I always say to actors, scratch deeper. What's behind that? What's behind all of that anger? What's behind it? And there was shame.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see how different people deal with knowing that they won't be accepted. You know, some people turn in, some people harm themselves, and he clearly went on to harm and express that in an outward destruction. But I think it's great, and what an example he's setting to talk about how the two things were linked and also to be doing his best to repair the damage that's done. That shows a lot of incredible growth already at 21 when you consider that behavior pattern existed for so long. So that's exciting for him, and clearly he's chosen a different path than his brother by dealing and reconciling those things within himself, which is great.
I think the brother's in prison.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Flashing on. I watched a YouTube video, and you should go and find it because it's hilarious. Bria and Chrissy are two very well-known YouTube stars, and so they did an interesting experience where they had various lesbians touch a penis for the very first time.
It was hysterical.
Yo, it is so
It's
funny.
so funny.
Because it's so like clinical, and you just see the girl standing there, a soft penis for the record. And so their comments on it as women not sexually attracted at all, not interested in a penis in any way for an interaction, one said, it feels like the loose skin on a shaved cat or a bag of raisins.
A shaved cat. I mean, that's so random.
It's like, well, I mean, I feel like lesbians know a lot about shaved pussy. I'll be here all week. Try the
Oh,
veal.
Emerson, you're so clever.
And then, but I love the clinical ones. It's softer than I thought it would be, said one. Another, I love this one. It feels like Play-Doh that's been warmed up. Another said it was harder than she expected. She said it feels like when I was a butcher and I would stuff the turkey necks with the corn on the cob for Christmas.
That's
Now,
so
first of all, I need
detailed.
to know all about this lesbian's life. That she was like stuffing corn in a turkey neck in this butcher shop.
It sounded like something that someone would do in another country.
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
but she had an American accent.
Well, another said it felt like a hot dog, a frozen hot dog, but like if you left it out, but you like poke it and it's softer, but it still feels like it's okay. And then another one said it feels like my vagina. It's just skin. And then another was just fascinated watching how it all like flops around.
The boy was a good sport.
He was.
And he's hot. He's very hot. So it's worth watching for that. And I loved that he took his shirt off and they were going, do we have to take the shirt? Why do we have to take the shirt off?
I thought it was hilarious. And the ladies were also very sweet. And one of them pointed out, now certainly there's nothing to be ashamed or mocked about any part of the human body. It's all natural, but I just don't really need to be involved with it, is how she said it. And then it got me to thinking about, though, what if, I don't feel like you could do this experiment the other way around, where you have like gay boys who never touched a vagina, like rub on that, like poke at the outside of it for the first time. Because like, what are you going to do? Like have like gay men touch a clit for the first time?
There would be lots of screaming. There would like, ow!
I feel like
no!
on all sides. I mean, but
External gasping.
I feel like in the consideration of equal opportunity, though, Davey Wavier, one of those like gay YouTube stars, should do an experiment. They did one of like gay boys touch breasts, but I was like, I feel like most gay men have touched a breast at some point on purpose, an accident, or
just because,
whatever.
yeah.
But I was like, but how do you? I don't know. I don't think the vagina one really works. Since it's mostly on the inside.
I don't miss it.
Guess we'll see what happens. But I just thought that would be amusing for you all. John put the link in the chat room, but you can.
How many views do they have on that video?
Over 1 million.
So they should do. Somebody should do a parody.
Because they are very popular YouTubers, and I just thought it was fun.
12 million already? That's crazy.
All right, flashing out.
All right. Well, Georgia has its first Pride School, and this is wonderful. Pride School Atlanta, Georgia's first publicly specifically created for LGBT students and those who feel bullied or unsafe at public schools. It's going to open in September. Christian, I'm not sure how to say his name, Zelavance, the school founder, is a 45-year-old transgender man with 25 years experience teaching. He founded the school specifically for LGBT students and teachers, but said that the Pride School Atlanta will welcome anyone who feels they've been mistreated or at so-called traditional schools for being different. He said kids have full permission to be themselves as well as the educators. This is a place where students can open up and be the best person that they can be. The private K-12 school will initially be housed at the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Atlanta with an annual tuition of roughly $13,000. Financial assistance will be available for students in need. Organizers promise the Pride School Atlanta will be the first of its kind, not only in Georgia, but in the entire southeastern U.S. And I want to help them. I want to do a benefit. I love this idea. I want to go teach drama there.
Oh, well, I bet you could reach out to them.
I am going to reach
certainly
out to them.
looking for educators.
Well, I don't want to do it all the time. I mean, I just want to come in and go out. But,
right.
I don't want to stay
right.
and teach on a daily basis. But I do love to teach. So I'd love to help out, and I would like to help them in any way they need. 13,000. That's reasonable here because I put my kids through private school. That's about right.
Yeah, but I mean that's a lot. It's really only going to be available to sort of upper middle class families and above at that point.
Well, hopefully they'll have a lot of scholarships.
Yeah, and that's probably something that the wider LGBT community could look at supporting and maybe sort of endowments.
Did you say the wider LGBT?
The wider LGBT.
Oh, wider. I thought you were back on the whites.
Whiter?
Whiter.
The wider LGBT community could do in order to endow a number of scholarships, because part of the issue is probably going to be that so often the kids that face a kind of bullying that they are unable to escape from are also in low-income situations, or they don't have stronger support systems. And so that's the kind of kid that really certainly would need maybe transfer access to a school like this. So that's probably something we could follow up on.
Maybe something like I did this benefit last year for Joining Hearts, which I loved in Atlanta. Maybe one of their benefactors could be they could give a couple of scholarships a year. That's like amazing. Did you just say that?
That's literally what I just said.
Okay, well, Oh, what's that? Oh, that's the pride. I thought that was, yeah.
But really exciting, and when you consider how many, and I think them welcoming kids that have experienced bullying for any kind of difference is really
Right.
great, and
Yeah.
making it LGBT focused sort of points out that anything and everyone is welcome here, and so that's really, really great. And props to Christian and the community there for creating that kind of
Absolutely.
educational
I am going to reach
environment.
out to them.
I think
We
they're-
should. We should, because I mean, I don't know. Is Southern Baptist Sissies too much for high school kids?
Not for high school.
You should go speak, Emerson.
Well, I can't. Well, you gonna fly me there?
Yeah, I will.
Okay,
I will.
perfect.
I've got miles.
Lovely.
Lots of miles.
All right, flashing on. I love this story because it relates to educators as well. An aspiring hip hop artist of sorts and a Bill Cosby supporter, apparently, which should tell you all you need to know.
Yes.
Naj_Mula tweeted last week this question: as a straight man, how do you feel about your child having a homosexual teacher who they're around for 8 hours of the day? An important part of this is he spelt there. THEIR, who they're around for 8 hours of the day.
They're
So, a fantastic gay teacher from Texas at Hate Reason, HAIT, noticed the tweet and crafted the perfect response,
have it,
saying, if a gay teacher teaches my child the difference between there, and there, I'm good. And the internet found it hilarious, and it was retweeted more than 33,000 times. I just thought that was so great.
but he took it down after that because
Yeah.
he was embarrassed. Ignorant.
Bless your
little
heart. Be like, maybe you
asshole.
should worry about your own grammar and education before you're
Yeah,
worried about who
really.
is educating your child.
All right. Well, we have an ad that is crazy in Amsterdam. It's called Squirt. It's after numerous complaints of indecency, a Dutch standards board has ruled that ads from a gay hookup site called Squirt. That's what they call it. Are
Squirt.
not inappropriate. The large signs and posters feature shirtless men and appear on trains in Amsterdam and on large Dutch and other large Dutch cities. Some locals demanded the ads be removed, calling the images sickening and shocking. We have one here. They're not really. I think Squirt is sort of the problem, the name Squirt, but it's, just two hot guys shirtless. One complaint said it's highly inappropriate that such a website is being promoted in the public space. Young children should not be faced with terminology such as squirt and cruising in conjunction with the picture of half-naked men. The board disagreed with that contention, pointing out the men were not posed in a sexual manner or even suggesting sexual acts. It's a lot of stuff for nothing. Just like,
I sort of get it because we do sort of walk a line, and I don't think this is even about gay. I think if you use the word squirt and cruising, and you've got obviously intended to look naked people, because I think if that ad were about straight people, it's aggressively sexual. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
But I get why some people who think that sexual behaviors and interactions should not be inherently overtly in the public sphere. I understand I don't know that the objection's even super gay because when I was in Amsterdam, that city's real gay. Like there's lots of it and it's everywhere. And they have that red light district with, professional sex workers standing in the windows.
don't they have
that are
bars that are
unionized.
just sex bars?
So I
like you
don't-
just go for a drink and then get a blowjob?
Sure, do they?
No, well, I've heard. I've not been there.
But so it's a very openly sexual city. So I think the greater issue is that like overt in giant advertising that's not in adult communities. They sort of get it. I mean, I wouldn't care. But
Look,
I don't think it's homophobic, I guess is my point.
Here's the way I feel about it. I feel about anything where there is that you're going to have to parent at some point. So if it's because you see a sign and go, "Mommy, what does squirt mean?" or whatever, if there are questions that be asked, then it is an opportunity to be a good parent and explain.
Right, but so is that with your 4-year-old?
Well, I don't know. I mean, would a 4-year-old be able to read Squirt?
I was reading at 4.
Well, Emerson, we're not all you.
I know, but I think that's the point. I think definitive overt sexual stuff, like this isn't like it's not on television. You can't control. It's not like you can change the channel. I think there's some validity.
I don't
to-
think it's going to cause a lot of damage. That's my point. Being a dad, I feel like that if my 4-year-old asked me, what does squirt mean? I'd probably make something up until she was ready to hear it, I don't know.
All right. Well, flashing on. FedEx has, it's interesting. FedEx is an 85% on the HRC index, and yet they are in the middle of an incredibly gross a story. Stacey Schuett and Leslie Taboada Hall wed in their home last year on June 19th, and Leslie died of uterine cancer on June 20th. They knew that she was ill. They were waiting for the Supreme Court decision, and they didn't make it. She died 6 days before the Supreme Court released the decision in the Obergefell case. Now, Leslie worked for FedEx for 26 years of their life and had a healthy pension, but FedEx's pension plan was governed by a federal law that incorporated DOMA, barring survivor benefits from same-sex spouses. Well, after DOMA's demise in the decision, federally regulated retirement plans were legally required to recognize same-sex marriages for survivor benefits. So essentially, that she didn't last 6 days long enough for it to just be free and clear and released to her wife. FedEx has argued that Leslie was essentially unmarried at the time of her death and had no surviving spouse, quote, for the purpose of the plan. However, several courts in the federal government have already recognized these decisions must apply retroactively. So Stacey has gotten a marriage certificate, but FedEx insists that the delayed marriage certificate is void because the marriage itself was invalid at the time of the marriage. And it's interesting because a federal district court, by the way, ruled against FedEx's motion to dismiss the case and harshly criticized this particular legal argument, hopefully boding very well for Stacey in gaining the benefits as a result. And it's interesting because reading the specifics, FedEx is probably legally correct. It's a very weird thing that happens, you know, when you pass a law that vacates previous laws and what was in effect at the time of a particular thing. But it seems like this is a moment where if you're a company or a corporation interested in showing that you treat all people equally, that you would sort of go, okay, let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably a worry of like, are people going to come back from 5 years ago or 10 years ago or however long and say, well, then it should apply retroactively to us too. But it seems like if you don't want to look really gross, like stop fighting.
Well, first of all, let's break this down into the legal aspects. I mean, of the fact that they have paid probably in legal fees the amount of money that it would have been for the benefits. I mean, this is and FedEx is a multi-billion-dollar company. It is gross, and it makes me wish that I'd used UPS or something the last time I mailed. Because I used FedEx, and I'm not. What do you think they're going to do? I think they should just stop right now, issue an apology, and give her fucking money.
I mean, I agree. I'd be interested. I wonder if part of the legal thing becomes they're pushing it in order to ensure there aren't other claims for like long previous. But
and it just hit the press, right?
Yes.
So, well, we'll see. I'd love us to follow up on this story and see where it takes us.
Well, as they get developments, it'll show up in my sources for our stories.
Emerson, actually, I almost emailed you this morning, but I was too tired. You do such a great job in organizing our show. It was like I get that, my participation is a lot less than Emerson. I mean, I find images and send them to John. We don't have a producer for our show. It's just, it is the Dell and Emerson show. We produce it, but Emerson really produces this show. And I just wanted to let all of our listeners know that it's you who is the.
Well, but let's be fair, because while I'm doing all of this and getting all this stuff ready and making our graphics and stuff, you're hitting up and chatting with and finding investors for our movie. That's our one goal for 2016.
Yes, that's my one.
So our division of effort is very, very
no,
equal.
I'm not taking that away. I mean, I do my shit. I do my work. But for this show, you really do it, and I appreciate it. And you never complain. Ever. I mean, I've never once heard you say, Dell, you don't do enough.
No.
So,
well, it's
it's
how our control freaks come out different. I love it because at the end of the day, we talk about what I decide we want to talk about. And it works out real well.
And sometimes when we have our meeting, we have a little meeting on Tuesday to go over. I'm like, I go, oh my God. And Emerson goes, I cannot believe you don't know this story. Where have you been? I've been talking to investors.
Yes.
Are there any out there?
Yes.
Yes.
Y'all come on. If everybody realized that suddenly you had an amazing 2015 in the financial world, we need some more people to help us get a very sorted wedding made this year.
And why should I was thinking, why should people invest in our movie? Why? First of all, if you can and you can support the arts and you can support humor and entertainment, that is a wonderful reason. If you want to help us spread a message of equality through these sordid characters, that is another wonderful reason to invest. And the other is you get to be a part of a really fun thing. I mean,
Yes.
you are a part of this journey with us in filming. We get to go to locations. You get to sit behind me while I direct these actors. You get to be in a scene if you want to. I mean, there's so much fun. And you're a part of the financial returns of this film for the rest of the life
Make
of the
money
film.
forever.
Ever. So,
And truly, if you or someone you know is interested in an investor information packet, you can always hit us up. Email Del at delshores@me.com. If it's for you, if it's for someone else you know. And to those of you that continue to share our graphics, our stories, that is just as important. So we appreciate all that you do in helping us get to making this movie this year.
we thank you, and we're really a big shout out to all the investors who have come on board. We're at about 70% capitalized for our budget, so thank you so much. All right, we have this is a sad story. We have an Indian boy who set himself on fire. A 15-year-old Indian boy was discovered by a neighbor being intimate with a male friend in a local park. The news spread, and soon he was publicly bullied. He locked himself in his room for 2 days and came out covered in diesel fuel taken from a car, set himself on fire. Neighbors and family members rushed out when they heard him screaming, pouring water all over him and covering him with a blanket. He suffered 40% burns, most severe were on his legs and chest. Being gay is still a taboo in Indian culture. Homophobia is rampant, and the Indian government classifies sex between two people of the same gender as an act punishable by law. So I hope he's okay, and that's a sad story, and destroy yourself.
And I included all of these today. You know, the story of the kid from ISIS, this kid in India, the story of the demon child in the UK. I think a lot of times those of us that have been in the community for a long time, I think I've called it the pink bubble before. That sometimes we can forget is as much as it was painful at the time, what it's like for people growing up in communities that is truly, where there are not openly LGBT people or in communities and cultures and even entire countries where it's unacceptable and dangerous to be one of us and to stand up and say that you are. A lot of us have dealt with our damage and sort of moved through that, and I've sort of made it a personal goal to remember to focus on that. I think sometimes we can get caught up in the stupid things that we've talked about, like, is Steve Grand a good entertainer? Do we have any enough openly gay celebrities? Do we, like, the silly things, like people posting too many shirtless pictures on Instagram and not representing the gay community well, and everybody's terrible and we hate each other, and then I hear people say things like, we're not a community. I don't feel like a part of this community. Well, that's up to each of us to decide for ourselves, certainly, how much we want to be involved. But I think it's incumbent upon all of us to continue to reach out, to reach hands back, for the other people that don't feel like they have anywhere at all.
I don't feel like that, and I know that there's a lot of people who do say that they don't feel a part of the community, but I think that you have to make an effort as well, that you have to immerse yourself and find a place in the community that you're comfortable with. I think what you're saying sometimes is, I'm not comfortable with that part of the community.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, trust me, I'm not going to go to Cherry Pop and dance until 2 a.m. and, do ecstasy. That's just not, but,
Well, and certainly, yes, but the umbrella community is still a place that, yes, there's only one thing that ties all of us together. But yeah, find your part, find your people. If it isn't the part that you see, the 8-pack rippling Insta model isn't your people, that is okay. But I don't think we need to resent other people because that's not the part of the community we relate to either.
I'm going to start an app for people that are not perfect, and we're going to reject all of the people with abs. That's what we're going to do.
Yes, there you go. Be like, you must show your stomach and cannot have visible
lines.
No,
no, Emerson, you cannot belong to this.
You should just call it dad bod.
Dad.
Yes,
how about I hate
maybe?
the gym?
All right. Flashing on one final story, and I found this one a little bit sad and trans-cetera in our news. Dame Edna actor Barry Humphries, of course, he's an 81-year-old actor made quite famous through the Dame Edna character, and he was doing an interview in the UK recently about his, they mentioned some quotes from a friend of his, Germaine Greer, who's a noted feminist that is much maligned because she has said a lot of anti-trans things. And Barry said of these two things of Caitlyn Jenner: You're a mutilated man. That's all. Self-mutilation. What's all this carry on? Caitlyn Jenner, what a publicity-seeking rat bag. It's all given the stamp, not of respectability, but authenticity or something. If you criticize anything, you're racist or sexist or homophobic. My issue here is that that's two separate thoughts. One, you don't have to like Caitlyn Jenner. Lots of people don't.
Right.
You can say whatever you want about her as a good person, as a bad person. And I think as comedians, you can come for anybody that you want to, for whatever, in the public sphere. But I think that stating straight up transphobic things like denying the existence of people, like making a judgment about their existence, that's horrifying.
I was just shocked at this. I one of my favorite shows last year was his farewell show here in LA, full of LGBT people, and I'm sure some trans people there. So I say, I'm sorry, Barry. I'm sorry, but fuck you.
And it's, and I think it's representative of the reason we've made, trans issues a focus issue of our show, is that there are a lot of trans people that feel rejection within the LGBT community. They talk, it's sort of like when your family is rude to you, it's way worse than when a stranger is. And I feel like this is just an example.
And he's not part of that community. I mean, he says he's a straight man, but he has certainly made a good living as a result of playing a woman,
right?
And having us come to his shows over and
have
over
an audience
and over
full of
again.
our people. So,
well, that is our show, everybody.
You have exciting things.
I will. Tomorrow night, I will be in San Diego at Martini's above 4th. I'm so excited to return to San Diego. It's my first show of January and of 2016. So I'll be doing my singularly sorted show, and I'm going to have to dust it off and get back into my red jacket and my red tennis shoes.
Yes.
And
as always, thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate you as we start off what we planned is a very big and exciting year for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to continue to work on posting clips on mine and Dell's Facebook page in order for you guys to share those out and help bring new people so we can continue to grow the audience of the show. But thank you for listening wherever and whenever you do.
Yes, and Tony Sweet is up next, and then we've got Jasper Cole, and then the wonderful Anne Lavonda Walker.
See you next week.
Bye.
Now that you've found UBN Radio and discovered our quality talk shows, it's time to spread the word to friends, family, and the universe. 24 hours of music and talk. Radio without limits. That's why people keep coming back for more. That's UBNradio.com.